Mission, on mission, trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Trying to mission, a mission. I'm on a mission. On a mission, I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transition in my life. On a mission. On a mission. On a mission. Welcome to the panel. This is DJ Such and Such, aka DJ Genesis, and I'm here with my friend here, Fundi Fee. She called me DJ Such. Why you call me DJ Such and Such?
I call you DJ Such and Such because when I first met you or heard about you, it was in the Nature Boy sector, and it was my little pet name for you, love you, hate you, like you, that I had for you. And I am not below calling you to your face what some people said I said behind your back. That will always be my name for you, DJ Such and Such.
Right. And so, look, AI mess by she's weird. Be careful. Yes, I'm very weird. I don't care if nobody say I'm weird. So what? It's good to be weird. It's good to not be the status quo in the world, you know? So I really have been kind of going in when it really comes down to this whole situation when it comes to just the whole immigration situation, the FBA situation, and now we have a new situation that's arisen, the SNAP thing. That I mean, it's about 3 more days, and this thing is about this is about to hit the fan. And I said, you know what? And I was doing a live today, and I was talking about some of the things that people are going to need to do. We're going to be needing to do, when this whole thing hits the fan, we need to not be reactionary, because sometimes, people work with their emotions. They do things based on their emotions and not common sense. So I want to play a little bit of this video and kind of get into it, and then we'll go from.
Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just sort of get accommodated with that.
I swear, these got to be these people would snitch on First 48 before the crime even occurred.
I want to snitch. I want to tell whatever they call telling snitching. I want to do it, and I want to make it cool to do it.
Hey, shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. I am Reese Waters, and I'm troubled.
Donald Trump just fucked up. Like, why would you take away these people benefits? We literally just had to go home because everybody came into my grocery store. I work at Walmart. Everybody came into Walmart, bum rushing, stealing, like filling up buggies, running out the store, like just putting all the groceries in their cart because he want to cut off motherfucking food stamps. Y'all, this shit is crazy. Like, I think y'all are getting y'all food stamps in November, or maybe some of y'all is not, but like, they literally just had to like do emergency evacuation at our store because everybody came in going crazy over like food for their kids and shit. And I'm not gonna hold y'all. Isn't this the same orange dude that y'all voted for to be in presidency? Like, isn't this the same dude, the same Lorax man y'all voted for? Like, y'all, this shit is crazy. They literally had to like evacuate all of the employees at my job to the back because everybody came in stealing. Everybody said fuck Christmas, fuck holidays. Like, we finna just take everything out this bitch. Like, this shit is crazy.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, bro.
So it's already started. The chaos has already started. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
The chaos. And you said the chaos was coming. What are your thoughts so far about what you're hearing?
I have been hearing that if you were not prepared for this, you're going to have a tough time in the very beginning. And if you can't survive the very beginning of what's happening, it's not what's coming, it's already here. We saw in the governmental shutdown the first time when that particular thing happened worldwide and everybody stayed home.
Mm-hmm.
What a lot of people did not take notice of, especially if you're not into this particular hobby that they call it now. If you didn't go to the garden section and you've never been to the garden section, you didn't realize that they had stopped selling seeds and plants.
What?
Especially, yes. They had put the seeds up and they had put all of the vegetation, all of the fruit trees, all of the vegetative plants. They had put all of that up and they were not selling it.
Whoa. Wait, when did you notice this?
I noticed this, 4 months into COVID, when I already had seeds. So I was going just to make sure that I had adequate plants for the seasons that were coming. And we couldn't buy the seeds. We
Well,
couldn't buy plants.
You see, I had bought a whole bunch.
You faded out.
I might doing some weird stuff. I don't know. I might be getting hacked.
There
But
you go. I hear you.
I had bought a bunch of seeds from Amazon about 2 years ago, and I planted some of them, but I kept a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? I never touched them, and I have I got some packs of seeds. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't touched them. I haven't planted them. I probably should have planted them, but I tried to plant some like last year, and they turned into weeds. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I was like, you know what, maybe Fundi, because people, they might, okay, go get some seeds and plant some seeds. Well, that doesn't mean that you know how to garden. So I was like, you know what, maybe Fundi needs to get up here, and because even when I was on my show earlier, I was like, what I do know about is how to go get poultry. I know that you can buy a chicken. You can buy chickens for like $25. That price has probably gone up now, but you can get chickens. People farmers that you could buy a live chicken, get like a rooster, and if you get the male and the female, now you have an actual you could either make other chickens, or if you get like a rooster, then you can get if you have a rooster, you get eggs, you get actual eggs and stuff like that. So can you go into some of that? Do you know about all that?
Yeah. Okay, here are some really practical things that people can start now, that when and if our food supply gets a hiccup or interrupted, or it's too costly for you. Rabbits, chickens, goats, and there are different types of these things. You got big chickens, you got little chickens. You have chickens that lay a lot of eggs, you have chickens that don't. You have chickens that will protect your yard better than a Rottweiler. You have geese. A goose egg is huge. They're loud and they're protective as well. Again, a good watch animal. Geese, they do not mind telling people that you are in their territory. Of course, you have your regular gardening. But here's the thing with gardening. You got to know how to do it. You can't be in an emergency situation and think that, okay, I'm going to put this seed in the ground and I'm going to be okay. Not necessarily, especially if that seed happens to be a spring, summer crop and you're planting it during fall, winter. You're going to have what we call a terminal crop. That means nothing. You're going to get nothing.
You know, and that's crazy because that's what I did. I think because I thought if you plant it during the winter time, then by the time spring come, it'll start springing up out the thing. But no, what sprung was weeds, some kind of big old weed plant, like a bunch of weed like stuff, weeds.
Correct.
Now you probably
And
can eat the weeds. Can you eat weeds? Is there certain weeds you can eat, or is it like? Because I heard you can eat like dandelion and stuff like that. But like, are there other weeds that's like toxic to eat, or can you eat weeds, or what is the situation with that?
foraging is an excellent way to get your nutrition and I'm going to say biodiversity than any other way I know. And it's free and it only needs you to have knowledge. That's it. But again, knowledge. You got to have knowledge because let's say you run across an elderberry tree. Yes, the berries are edible, but no other part of that plant is edible for a human. And you can't eat the whole berry. You need to get the juice off of it and disregard everything else. Yeah, you can eat dandelions. You sure can. You can eat a whole lot of leaves. You can grow mint and it will give you mint on top of mint on top of mint. It's evasive, it's going to take over, but at least you got mint, right? You have dill, you have all of your herbs, which some people might just take for weeds. You have wild onions, especially in the South. Wild onions are everywhere. Edible food is everywhere. If you're in the South, you have pecan trees. Now, mind you, you have to know that your pecan trees just might set fruit every 2 or 3 years. So you got to be ready for that. But if you can't name 5 plants that are edible in your general vicinity, you're setting yourself up for a little bit of failure.
Yes. And see, the reason why I wanted to bring this live to play is like, it's one thing to when you have like the government in this flux the way it is, I believe that a lot of the ways that they're doing stuff is to like set people off, is to kind of create a situation where you have people kind of snapping and doing wild stuff, like because they are panicking, and I don't
Yeah.
want to panic. So how do we stop the whole panic aspect of the whole thing and start like let's use our brains and how do you like really like if you didn't plan, because most people didn't, how do you move forward? So say you didn't stockpile like canned goods, like I stockpiled a bunch of canned goods over the years, but some people probably didn't. They might have a bunch of like just meats and stuff like that that's like maybe not have a cooler. How do you do that? What do you do in this situation?
Well, there you have alternatives, and that's where this has to become creative. There's a dude in the commentary right now called D Keys. He's one of my students, but he and I have this barter kind of relationship, right? He has chickens. I have vegetation. So if I need eggs, it's very easy for me to go, hey man, what do y'all need over there? Do you need an elderberry plant? Do you need apple trees? Tell me what you need and let me help you barter, or let me go in with you on these chickens. So when and if I need some, we can trade, because no one person can do it all. It costs very little for a family, 3-4 families, to go in on a whole cow and split it down the middle 4 ways if y'all go in equally. But if there are, say, 6 families of different sizes, 2 over here, 4 over there, then it's a portion thing. Every person is a portion and every family pays their total portion. Then everybody can come out, not just with meat and where it came from, but you can store it. So that way, meat, no matter what the price that takes place on the open market or in your local food store, that doesn't affect your overall finance, because that meat thing is already taken care of. But again, you gotta have some people that are ready to do this before it becomes crunch time.
So I want to also give a shout out to the Black Farmers Index. So a lot of times, like, see, this is the thing, is that when it gets down to the crux of it, these Black farmers have been existing, but now that you see that everybody's like going to Walmart and probably clearing out the shelves of stuff, of all their processed food. But if they decide to keep this thing going for a long period of time, you're going to see those shelves, because I think also the trucking industry is beginning to slow down, the food and everything, all that stuff. So it's not just a matter of just, the SNAP benefits are getting cut off, but also food shortages aspect of things that could be happening, right?
No. Can we stop saying that?
Yeah. Okay.
Let me help you. There's no such thing as a food shortage when you can go outside and make a salad out of what they call weeds. Put some vinegar and some oil on it, bake you some bread from it. What food shortage? The only food shortage is humans forgetting how to identify their food out in nature. But there's no food shortage. Stop that.
So what do we do? Because now it's getting cold. So I have a whole persimmon tree. Now I made sure, like, okay, this tree got knocked down during the tornado, right? And now most people would have probably cut the tree down, because it was laying down. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to kill this tree. So I did everything. I tried to hike it up. It kept falling down. I tried to string it up against my gate. It kept falling down. Finally, one of my landscapers came in and hiked up another tree against it to hold it up, and it created fruit. So it's like, as long as it's creating fruit, I'm not going to cut it down. But this is the type of stuff that we'll see a tree that has fruit in our yard and it gets knocked down, and we'll just cut it off, and we don't think that this could be fruit that we could be eating if something goes down. So I have a whole persimmon tree that I have propped up in my backyard that has fruit on it right now. So that type of stuff that we like take for granted, like fruit, like little fruit trees and stuff like that can actually, and persimmon is kind of a weird fruit to have in your backyard, because you can't just bite into it. It's going to make your whole mouth dry when you eat it, so you probably have to prepare it like a certain way or whatever. And so it might, that we might be on persimmons, what I'm saying, if it comes down to it. What other ways can you do? Like, now it's wintertime coming up, and that persimmon tree, it has hit its ripe season, and then as time goes on, it's going to get colder, and those fruits will not be as viable anymore. How do you still like take the seeds and probably bring them into your household and kind of create something that might sprout up really quickly to be able to eat?
Well, that's about being able to literally cycle your food. When you take your seeds out, dry them out. Don't throw them away. Dry them out. Label them. And find out, as many people have smartphones, All you got to do is get on your smartphone and ask, hey, when do such and such come into season? When should I plant it? Write all that information on that envelope or that seed packet that you just put those seeds in. And when the cycle is right, then plant that. But we act like there aren't plants that grow in winter. There are plants that grow in winter. There sure are. Again, you just have to have the knowledge to know where it is and how to get it or how to keep it alive. There are all kinds of plants that go through drought very well, but we act like we're not in our homes and we don't have access to water. Stop it. Stop it. You are not watering 21 freaking acres. You are watering your backyard. Stop. We're going through a drought. Not when you have a hose. Not when you live in the freaking city. Stop it. And that's what gets you. Fear. Fear stops you from thinking. Fear stops you from being creative. Fear stops you from seeing what is right in front of you.
And I just brought this up. Okay, so one of the things you can grow during the wintertime, leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, bok choy are excellent for growing in water indoors during winter. So if you don't have an actual garden, you could grow this in winter along with herbs, basil, parsley, and chives. Chives are like the onions. You could like take an onion and I think put it in the water and it'll grow like the chives out of it.
Girl, collard greens, kale, of course, onions, you have your potatoes, you have carrots. I live in grow zone 9. We can literally grow most crops right up until February. We have 2 weeks off and then we're right back to planting for early spring. I have collard greens all through winter. I even had collard greens when I lived in Michigan.
Are your collard greens outside or inside?
They're outside.
Wow.
Dee's seen them. Some of them are bigger than my freaking arm. Outside. And they grow out there all winter. I just put in some red leaf lettuce. We just put in some cabbage. Still got peppers growing. My loquat tree is still producing loquats. I just put some onion sprouts in the dehydrator because they're growing like crazy right now. They got triggered. This winter came in and they was like, this weather came in and they was like, hello, Betsy.
Right. So as you can see, these are some of the things that 10 vegetables you can regrow in water. So let's go into seeds now. 10 vegetables you can regrow in water. I mean,
exactly, D. And if your SNAP benefits are getting ready to get cut off, go get you some seeds with the rest of your benefits.
Right.
That way you will have food. You can get live plants with your SNAP benefits. Go get them.
Right. And then here's another thing. Yeah, get the seeds and see also Amazon, because if you don't want to go to like Walmart and stuff like that, because Walmart is wild right now. I would not suggest people going to Walmart because they're panicking, and it's ridiculous, so there's things you can grow, leeks, lemongrass, green onions, carrot greens, all these different things you can don't throw away your garden food scraps. Instead, bring them inside, place them in some water. You'd be amazed at how many veggies and herbs you can regrow from scraps. So this is the thing. We have lost our ability to really understand how to just survive without government assistance of like this whole like food bank, right? And that's sad, you know, and that we need to like get out of that. We need to like learn how to work together. We need to start to be, if one person knows how to plant and garden, well, another person probably has a yard and or a big enough yard to be able to put a couple of poultry on there. I know in Texas, we're both in Texas, we can have poultry. I know in Mesquite, I can have poultry in my backyard, you know?
I believe D has poultry in his grandmama's backyard.
Yeah, so I think what they say, AI MedSpot says, I feel for y'all in red states who are keen to human behavior. Under 90 days without SNAP benefits, widespread rumors of cannibalism and the hunting talks for rabbits and deers goes out the door.
What? Okay, whatever. We know who has it. We know who has the history of cannibalism here. So
Yeah, I don't think that
there's
we're cannibalizing any people. We need to stop that. That's fear, you know. Most of us, if you know, if anybody knows anybody, you know somebody that knows how to garden and has a garden. All you have to do is be able to create like a community of people. Start talking to your neighbors. Start talking to each other. You know, that's the biggest thing. We got so used to like the internet and being so separate. It might not even be your neighbors, but friends. You know what I'm saying? It might not be neighbors, you know, because neighbors can be weird. You know what I'm saying? But you know, friends, your friend group, okay, what are you doing? Okay, you grow the such and such, I'll do the blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And then come together. Okay, well, you got this, you got that, everybody come together. Okay, well, we can like split this whole thing up, share, and work together. That's the biggest thing. Rather than talking about running up into Walmart so you can get your processed and food that's going to only last you probably a few weeks at best, you know, go like actually do something that probably can like regenerate and regenerate and regenerate.
Produce something so you can barter, because the American dollar is about to tank into, let's just put it, bread is about to cost $10.
$10.
And that's if you buy bread out the store, because a lot of y'all do not understand alternative grains. You would know a wild grain looking you in the face, you cut it down and consider it a freaking weed. And that's food.
I heard
But
also that like, like there's like those sunflowers sometimes certain areas. They don't probably grow right now, but I know during even the summertime, those sunflowers also create stuff too. You'll see a bunch of places with sunflower just sprouting up on the side of the road. I mean, hey, stop and grab one. You know, you could eat that. And also I heard you could eat acorns. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, you just have to leak the tannins off of it.
Leak the tannins? What does that mean?
If you eat an acorn, it's really, really, really bitter, right? That's the tannins that's in it. If you get your acorn and only get the acorns that are still on the tree, don't get the ones that have fallen. You're usually going to run into some type of bug or weevil or something. Get the ones that are on the tree. Crack it out of the nut, put the acorns in some water. That water is going to leak the tannins out. You might have to do it 3-4 times. I think there's only one acorn species that you don't have to leak the tannins off of, and I think that's a black acorn, but do not quote me on that. Look that up. I'm just coming off the top of my head right now.
And a lot of y'all probably have acorns in your neighborhood.
You got acorns. Acorns are falling right now.
You can collect them suckers and just go ahead. Listen, just stockpile them. How long can you stockpile them before they're no good? Is there like a expiration date on them, or just like you just stockpile them and just wait or whatever? Or is it like?
It depends on how you preserve them. It's always about the preservation method. If you take them, dry them, grind them out, it'll last just like flour.
Pine cones. Someone just mentioned pine cones. And
yeah,
you know what? I had a tree in my front yard that was a flower tree, but eventually it turned into like little berries. How do you know if a berry is good or not? Is it like the color of it, or is it like you just certain
Now, just look it up. You
Yeah,
got a smartphone, just look it up. I was looking at this tree that's producing these white berries out in front of the house. They're non-edible. You just have to know about nature.
well,
Know about the nature around you.
there's apps you can like just walk around your neighborhood and you'll be surprised what's even growing in your neighborhood that you can eat. You don't have to sit up here and then be threatening. People are threatening to just do stupid stuff.
Pine needles make some of the best soda. It kind of tastes like Sprite.
Really?
Oh, yes.
You take the pine needles and what you boil them or whatever, and it like does it create like a carbonation or what?
Yes, you take your pine needles, you clean them, you put them in some water with some sugar, and you allow the natural yeast to eat up on that sugar, and it'll create like this fizzy seltzer thing. But the pine gives it like this limey taste. It's really nice.
I think that's what we need to be thinking about. Okay, listen, mustard greens grows on the side of the road. Really?
Yeah.
Where at? All over, or just in certain, just down south, or is
all through Texas. You got muscadine grapes, you got Mustang grapes, because D just found some wild Mustang grapes on his lawn. Man, it's so much wild food growing that people just overlook it because they don't know what they're looking at.
So there's no reason to be up here panicking about this stuff. Like, I'm fixing to run up into Walmart and I'm fixing to do this. No, before you do that, because you're going to go to jail and you're going to get your kids taken from you and be trafficked like this everybody else is doing. Don't do that, BS. Go ahead and be smart. That's what I want to make this whole thing about, is like people that might just run across this thing that probably don't know. Like, you have things around in your neighborhood that you could what's it called? Is it called foraging?
Yes.
Yes, learn how to forage. You don't have to like be so stuck on even when it comes to meat. Some maybe you might need to like take a break from meat anyway. Just use this thing as a thing to learn your environment. Use this as a break. Learn your environment, go around your neighborhood, see what you have in your own neighborhood. Take some of the greens. Look it up on your phone, while we still have that option, because I don't know what's going to happen. They might even try to take that option away from us. But at least, as long as we have the phone and we can like get this app and be able to like take a picture or something and see whether it's edible or not. Is there like an app that does that shows you?
There's a few of them. Just go to your app store and pick one. Go to your app store and pick one.
No reason why people should be sitting up here panicking like this. Can you eat elephant? Can you eat elephant ears?
You can eat the roots. Sure can.
I know I have a few of those that grow in front of my house right now. So yeah,
you sure can. There are a lot of things that are edible that are around us that we just don't look at as being edible. Flowers, roses, lavender, all of that is edible.
You can eat lavender?
You sure can.
So now, is there a certain amount like dandelion? Can you eat like a lot of dandelion, or because will it cause like some kind of like
No, it won't cause any gastric discomfort. Nope. It'll cause as much gastric discomfort as eating a whole lot of pineapple will eat your mouth out. Right. While you eating pineapple is eating you.
You, right. Right. What is it called? What's a chemical called that's doing that? I forget what it's called. Another thing is certain other flowers. What other flowers that can you think is edible?
Other flowers that are edible. Let's see. As I said, roses, of course.
So you can eat roses.
You sure can. They taste very peppery. Very, very peppery. You can eat asylums, which are the real small white ones. You can eat those. You can eat borscht. You can eat the flowers of bee palm. You can eat the flowers of mint. You can eat pansies and violets. You can eat the chive blossoms and onion blossoms. You can eat banana tree blossoms. You can eat squash blossoms. The chamomile flower. But we all know what the chamomile flower does, right?
Yeah. That relaxes you, right?
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
So
edible flowers.
I want to give a shout out to Muy Intelligente. She gave Fundi Feet a $5 super chat. Let's go ahead and give her some praise. Thank you.
I am blessed to make money, money making money, money making money, money making money, money making money, manifest making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. I ain't stressed, making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. Gratitude is my attitude. I'm making money moves. Jewelry in the safe, piggy bank on full. And I'm living life abundant. I'm making money fast. I'm a money making magnet, making cold hard cash. I'm making money. Oh, I am blessed.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat. Listen.
Oh, my bad. What?
Hey, that's the mantra. We don't have to sit up here and be up here thinking in a negative mindset, because of this thing that's going on. We don't have to be in a mindset of lack. Okay, that is the money mantra song. If you want to, if you need to, come back to it, play it, because in these times we need to be thinking positive, not be thinking negative, and not be thinking in a lack, So let's continue. So what else could we think about that's going to, like, soups, right? How can we what kind of like type of like soups we can make? Like, even when it comes down to carrots, do certain carrots, does it take a long time to like grow those things? Is there something that you can make grow really quickly and be
If
able
you
to
want things, you
onions?
have things that you can grow quickly, like lettuces and leafy greens. Those grow quickly, like kale, Swiss chard. Like I said, all of the lettuces, including the bad boy of them all, freaking arugula. Oh, arugula grows anywhere and all times, but arugula just takes me out. I can't stand the pepper. I'd really just rather eat a rose leaf.
Yes. So that's awesome. So microgreen sprouts can also be eaten. All right, Muy Intelligente. She wants to hear the song again. We got to play it again, you guys. All right.
I am blessed to make money, money making money, money making money, money making money, money making money, manifest making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. I ain't stressed, making money, money making money, money making money, money making money. Gratitude is my attitude. I'm making money moves. Jewelry in the safe, piggy bank on full. And I'm living life abundant. I'm making money fast.
listen, hey, you know what I'm saying? That is the money making mantra. Shouts out to uh, uh our beloved Moy Intelligente for your $5 super chat. Once again, thank you for your donation to Fundi Fee. So yeah, microgreens, all that, and also listen, that mantra, you know, I did that mantra because I like people to like, we need to like start to manifest positivity. We don't need to be thinking in the spirit of lack. Without further ado, let's get back into like, okay, what other things can we do in this situation? What can we do? What kind of other things can we do to like kind of get through this time frame? You know, if they don't bring back SNAP benefits, what can people do?
How about this? All of us aren't even freaking dependent on SNAP benefits. So that ain't even us. Every time somebody say SNAP benefits, I go, I have no concept. I'm like, what? Who? We don't all get, everybody act like every nigga on the street gets SNAP benefits. We do not. We do not, motherfucker. We do not. We know who gets SNAP benefits. We over here in my community, we know why so-called welfare was started, and it wasn't for Black people. Black people paid into welfare and never got it for like 50 years. So let's be honest about who these benefits are going to cut off. And it ain't a whole lot of Black folk. Will some Black folk get caught up in the mix? Sure will, but know this. Black mothers are some of the most resourceful women on the planet. Even without SNAP benefits, we made it. We will make it. No amount of fear about, oh my God, the government's gonna cut off our benefits. Do you know how long Black people have went without government benefits? Even when we earned them? So let's not fearmonger. You can't fearmonger Black folk that, let me put it this way. When my mama went to get food stamps when I was 8 years old, I will never forget this woman said this to my mama with a straight face and that snarl on her. She looked up from them papers and told my mama she made 5 cents too much to qualify for welfare benefits. I was done. I was done right then, right there. I don't ask nobody for nothing. If I can't make it, I won't make it. And that's the thing. Convenience for creative thinking. I'll take creative thinking for 1,000, Alex, but a lot of y'all can't creatively think because you don't have nothing to think about. They give you all of your thoughts, including the fear, including the helplessness, including the victimhood. Oh, we feel sorry for you people in red states. I thought this was the United States of America. But every time we start talking about this being a United States, white folk make sure that we remember that we're not even human in this system. So let's remember that. And in that vein, we don't get the assistance that other people do. So here's something financial for you. We talked about how to feed yourself. Let's talk about how to get through a depression. You got to go get you some earth. You got to trade that worthless paper that's about to be the American dollar for something of worth. And what I tell my people, you know, I don't know nothing about Bitcoin. That's fine. Do you know about that gold chain around your neck? Because that is gold. And gold is earth. And that is worth something. You people like me that love your silver, your 0.925, go and step that up to something like 0.999. Go start buying, trading that paper money that still has a little bit of worth, because that worth is going to keep going down. Now that
Right.
America doesn't have the subsidiary that it used to, because Donald Trump is turning this mother out. Trade that in for a troy worth of silver, a troy worth of gold, copper, platinum. Because when all of the fiat goes to hell, the precious metals and stones will be how you're going to transfer your wealth and make it out of this.
My daughter decided to, she told me that she has to go to school. I'm like trying to do two different things at once. But yes,
You all right?
we have to think about, yeah, and you're right. Do you think so? So you don't think that Bitcoin is going to be viable? Do you think that people should be investing in Bitcoin and things like that?
No, I'm not saying don't invest in Bitcoin. I'm saying have yourself some stable earth under your feet, because we're not sure what's going to happen with Bitcoin and all of these. This is something coming in, and that's great. But we know something that holds value, and things that hold value are precious metals, which are easy to take with you, easy to conceal, easy to hide. Precious stones, easy to conceal, easy to hide, easy to transfer. One of the things that started the Great Depression is the American society gave up its gold to its government. We will never make that mistake again. Guns and butter is an investment model. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that means. This is that war talk we need. No, it's not war. It's economic stability. And it's economic stability for those who understand that and follow me. As y'all count us as less than 30% of the total US population, and as Black people, we have realized that in no way, shape, or form will we ever have a say-so in the American government, one way or the other. We, as the Blacks of America, should sit back and realize something about living in a capitalistic environment where your dollar runs the system. When you realize that your dollar runs the system, and the minute that you stop circulating your dollar and you start pulling your dollar back and holding on to it, as in holding on to an investment that appreciates in value and does not depreciate in value, you hold on to something that is stable. So when the economy stabilizes, you were never put off balance. This is something that actually brought us into segregation, because the white economy needed the Black savings to come into the economy to save it. And that's when finally the federal government made America integrate, because that Black dollar that could not be spent anywhere, and for generations we were holding on to these Black dollars and this land, that dollars and those lands slowly got sucked into the capitalistic environment as the things that helped us get that money and those savings, the land itself was slowly taken from us. And so was the money, so was grandma's house, so was grandma's farm. And then the land was gone. And then we became wage slaves. Because again, everybody makes fun of the farmer who produces something, but the farmer laughs at you because you produce nothing and think that's okay.
You know, I even heard that that during a certain time, we even were the thing that kept the Cadillac car alive, because when they had that economic breakdown, when I think it was the Great Depression, all the white people like that had their money into the banks, they lost their money. But because we didn't put our money in the banks, we still had money, and so we were the thing that even kept Cadillac alive. Are you aware of that?
Not only am I aware of that, I can actually tell you that the designer, his last name was Lambert. Now I'm gonna give you a little bit right here, right? Lambert designed the fishtail. Lambert is my uncle's father.
Wow. And so what happened is that you had all those people that put all that and built and had all these things set up, and they had to do everything to try to that's where integration was that the beginning of integration during that time frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
It's insidious, but it's absolutely true.
So what happened is that you have this transfer of wealth, and that's exactly what's happening now. You know, I think when I was talking on this other platform, I talked about how there's this new class of billionaires that now exists that didn't exist before, and that
Correct.
they are pretty much sucking up all the resources and taking all the money into their own thing to try to become decabillionaires and trillionaires, and they want to control all of the resources for themselves. And they pretty much they feel like, hey, we don't need that many people on this earth. It just needs to be us and our families, and that's it. And they'd be happy with doing that.
Well, here's the problem, and here's the philosophical truth. Not one man that has tried to conquer the world has done it.
That's absolutely true. What do you think about Trump and this whole thing? You know, I mean, he's like 80 years old. My daughter said, well, we don't know, like, are they putting him in a hyperbaric chamber? Like, how does he think he's going to make it with suffering what appears to be a stroke, and then also all these ailments? I mean, veins ain't pumping blood right. You can't shake his hand because the veins might pop. All these, like, you know, things that happen. You know, he's like about to be 79, about to be 80, and he's supposed to make it from all the way to that time frame, and then 4 years more and still be a viable president. I'm trying to understand, like, what planet are we living on where we think that you know his you know, unless they got some new stem cell thing, and he might be going to Area 51, probably getting some alien DNA or something. Like, what do you think it might be the thing that might be still driving the government to really try to put, not the government, but his people, to try to keep pushing him into a third term?
They owe it to him. You do know that President Trump's granddaddy ran Area 51, right?
He did?
Yes.
So they might have some like reptilian stuff that might be able to regenerate itself. He's like, I'm gonna live to be 300 years old.
Like I said, with said technologies, what we gotta understand what Project Paperclip really did to America. Project Paperclip was a program by the US that brought Nazi from the side of the war into America and wiped their records clean. And these were scientists that were working not only in propulsion, they were working in germicidal warfare. They were working in neurology. They were working with sound. They were working with all types of stuff. And America green-lined a lot of those scientists right into NASA. Took a lot of those in biology right into our medical universities, scientific exploration like John Hopkins. And when those Nazis got when they got in there, they already had a plan. And this hasn't been 3 generations, y'all. Since the Second World War. We haven't been 3 generations away from that. And you have a whole government infrastructure that comes over to another country. Do you think they're not going to try to take over with their kids and their ideologies? Trump just gave how much money to Argentina? Anybody know the history of Argentina and Venezuela? Because that's where a lot of Z's went to hide from the war. And that's where your hard-earned tax money just went. And my mom asked me, and I'm gonna be honest, and this is just my opinion. They were like, Mama was like, why do you think he sent it? I was like, oh, that's his get out of jail free card. Because when they decide to throw his behind in jail, or they decide that they're going to impeach him, that's exactly where he's going. He already paid his bill. He's out with your tax money. Billions of it. And you know what America's going to get? A brand new ballroom. Yeah. Because that's what we need. I didn't know Costco was selling gold bars. I know Walmart was at one point. I wouldn't know if I would trust Walmart with pure gold, though. I don't know.
You know what's interesting is that I said I made a prediction. I'm not sure if this is gonna I want to make a prediction. I think that the 20 billion that is being sent to Argentina is to create a town similar to Dubai. The US version of Dubai. And the reason why it was sent down there is because for peso, because what is Donald Trump but a developer, a real estate developer? I think he's going to try to match Dubai over here. And
Sure, you put failed on that. Put failed on the front of that. Put failed.
Now is he failed because didn't he make the whole New York skyline?
Did he pay for it? If he built it, he didn't pay for it. I think we give this troglodyte just way too much credit. I said it.
Yeah, someone had told me that that's a Trump supporter, and I was like, oh, okay, well, he built the skyline. Okay, so now it seems like, okay, he's invested into Argentina, where the folks went to and where they came. And that's what I said, okay, what's going on with this? 20 billion, and to make the peso stronger there, why would he be so invested in the peso? And why is it that he would be so against the American farmer?
Well, when your money begins to tank, you have to spread it out to strengthen it again. So he's spreading out the American money into other countries to try to strengthen the American dollar again, but that ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. He set the barn on fire, y'all, and wouldn't let us put it out. Now that the Republicans, so-called, control all three houses, it's the Democrats' fault that the whole system is shut down.
What do you is and my thing is I really hate this whole thing that people are really buying this liberal
Sure
versus
it is.
conservative argument. How stupid can we be? You know what? Like I said, there's 900 billionaires, almost 1,000 billionaires in the United States. Do you think that they're Democrat or Republican or neither?
They're neither.
Thank you. So and this is and then you have a fake argument with Elon Musk, who's trying to be a trillionaire and try to pretty much be the richest man in the world. That has, you know what I'm saying, and you're gonna have a fake argument with him and pretend like you guys are not fighting, like cool with each other.
Elon got in, got our information, and got out because that's all he needed. We don't know what backdoor worm holes they put into the American system. Let me put it this way. Remember, back in the 80s, this dude got prosecuted because he went into this banking establishment and put a program into the mainframe to take a penny off of every transaction made by that bank and put it in several accounts all over the place. La la la. It was real intricate. That was a couple $1 million he got away with in a very short period of time. And I think that I'm underestimating how much he actually got away with before they got him. Doesn't Elon Musk and his little renegade group of computer brats, isn't that exactly what they do?
Pretty much. That's what it sounded like they just did, didn't they? Didn't they take all of people's like information?
Yeah.
Like, and everybody just forgot that. It's like, and then he would then just start an argument. But I'm like, that was a fake argument. The whole goal was to just give him the information. They just couldn't just do it.
Right. Now he's gone.
Now, tell me this. Is South Africa connected with Germany?
Yes. Yes.
Because I swear to goodness, I believe that there's like some secret organization that is like, listen, we are going to tank this situation and we're going to build it up somewhere else. We're going to funnel the money from over here to over here. We're going to build this up over here. That's what it sounds like to me.
What is it called when somebody comes into a company to break it up into pieces to sell it off?
A leveraged buyout?
That's what America is going through.
That's what I thought it was. That's what I thought that the Argentina deal was a leveraged buyout. You know, I thought that they're going into Argentina, and it's because it's like, first of all, when I a corporate takeover, okay, a corporate takeover. So a takeover, okay. And here's another thing. I even when I did the my live stream, I said, listen, I'm like, the way that this whole thing is going, there's like you know that it's just reeking of, there's like all these billionaires that are sitting up here betting in a room betting on, okay, so do you think that the Black people are going to join the march or the things? And they're like, all right, place your bets. They're like in some room somewhere, like, okay, place your bets. You think the Black people are going to, okay, what if we like take the snap? Let's see who's going to bet the Black people. You know what I'm saying? I think that they're in a room, just like the Hunger Games.
I think the police play that same game.
You can't tell me ain't no bets getting bet and hedged and everything like that, because you saw that the NBA was up there they just got a whole thing, a crackdown on them betting and the mob being a part of it. So you know that these people are up in like a tower somewhere in New York at the top of that sucker, looking across the thing, like just placing bets. They got like a parlay thing going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for police is a bonus on your retirement. Kind of like, okay, if you can get a black or brown person in the back seat of your car, handcuffed on the railroad, and the train hit it, you get $100,000 more on your retirement. Go.
That's what it sounds like to me. I don't think that this whole thing. I think this whole thing to people like that. They play with it with people's lives. This is a play for them. It's almost like a kitten playing with a mouse.
But it is, and it always has been. And the minute that we acknowledge that we're the rat, and that's the mouse, and we can be honest with ourselves about everything that has happened. Right now, we lost a war. We lost a physical war. We lost the paper war. We were so behind because our existence was in innocence. Well, welcome to your grow up right quick. Now there's two ways out of the belly of the beast. And from what we understand about digestion, we should understand that there's only two ways out of this. We either go back the way we came, or we finish and get pooped out. It's up to you. Even the magic school bus didn't finish the job. Miss Frizzle went back the way she came.
So here's a question though, right? Right. So either we either we come in or we get pooed out, or we get just consumed by the belly acid, the stomach acid, right? You know what I'm saying?
One or the other. There you go.
Either you,
and if you get consumed, you going out the back end.
So here's a question, right? So I mean, and this is okay. I know I keep talking about this whole issue with the FBA movement, right? Do you not think it's convenient that this movement is popping up right when this whole thing is going on, where people are telling people to divest, when people could easily go to other countries and not be in this situation as it is and be in this? And it's like, oh no, we need to divest from them. We need to create what's it called? Now we want to talk about our lineage all of a sudden, right? And I'm thinking, if we have a lineage that starts in the 1800s and during slavery, then the only thing that you go back to is slavery. You can't go back further than that to before slavery. Then it brings you back to, okay, so if we go back to, this is our lineage, that brings you back to being a slave if we revert back to that. If America is going to be great again, and we're going to be talking about when America was great, or what they thought was great, then that takes us back to the 1800s and we're slaves. I mean, am I not just imagining that this is like what we're talking about? Well, why would we say it's a lineage and then go only back to 1800 during slave time?
Well, that was the great encounter. And that's where a lot of people want to begin time, but time didn't start there. And here's the crux of that. The same MFers that want us to start time there are the same MFers that have all of the world's history on lockdown in the smallest country in the world, where you have to get an appointment to see a page in a book that they stole from your people.
Rome?
I sure am.
Didn't they just have a whole thing with the Louvre got, or the Louvre or something like that just got robbed?
The Louvre got robbed. You sure did.
And they figured out where all that stuff is going, all those artifacts and this, that, the other?
I don't know. I don't get involved in somebody stealing stolen goods.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
It's a free agent now, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Okay. So the delineation been popping, but okay. So, but all right. So now that we have been delineating, okay. So now it's like, and you know what Dr. Claudine says? Listen, we can't fight all these people, right? Against us. Everybody wants to, but now we want to say, okay, now we want to delineate. Now we want to pretend like we're the one to start. We want to create a separation between us and Pan-Africanism. Okay, and we say, okay, that's dead. But now that we're in a situation to where, you know, we could either stay in this thing and just and tout being American and fall with the submarine or the ship, or we could just get the fuck up off the ship and go somewhere else. It's like, no, 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 no. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so sorry, can you hear me? I was saying,
Yes, I can.
you know, did you hear anything I just said about the delineation and everything?
Yes. It's only like the last two sentences we didn't hear.
Yeah, so I'm saying is that why would we say, okay, well, Pan-Africanism is dead, and
Right.
you know what, Africans, we're not African. I have nothing to do with Africa, and then stay here and say, no, I'm I'm American, right? So then it's like when all this stuff is really hitting the fan, and they're trying to go revert back to slave times. They're even changing the laws to make it illegal, like that when you do the smallest thing, that you can be put locked up for over a year, and all this stuff is like happening. Like, why would you want to stay in a place and stay here? Because for what? Like, why would we want to do that? I mean, I don't understand, because we feel like, well, I don't have no connection to Africa. Well, or the Caribbean or anywhere else. I want to stay here because this is where my connect. But why? There's a reason why they have a whole Navy ship in the Caribbean. There's a whole Navy ship over there just in between the Caribbean, whatever. And they say it's because of drugs or whatever, but it's like there's something to this whole thing. And to me, I believe it's like there's like something going on to where they want to separate this whole thing and create like this fodder amongst each other, especially with the Caribbean brothers and sisters, you know, and say like, well, no, we're not a part. You guys aren't a part of us. We have a lineage. And I'm like, okay, well, which lineage? I mean, there's different lineages. Like, you know, I'm sure your lineage is one lineage and my lineage is a different lineage. And so which lineage are we speaking of? Because I know my lineage includes Caribbean. Going all the way back, you know what I'm saying? Because I think anybody that came from South Carolina, they came from Barbados. So how could we tout that we are anti-Caribbean when a lot of us came from the Caribbean?
You know, that's some internal shit y'all gonna have to deal with. Because I'll be the first one. I married a man from the Caribbean. And when I went to the Caribbean to visit his home for the first time, me and one of his aunts got in an interesting debate because, again, you know, I was a Browning from America, which was derogatory. And I was like, this is kind of funny coming from people who got off the same boat. We got off the same boat. And wasn't this a killing island on top of that? So you mad because I came from a place where, one, they were still killing us, but two, they were breeding us to be killed? And we have a problem. Then we gonna have a problem, sweetheart.
And I'm like, bro, they were sending people back and forth. Like, if you were an unruly slave, they would send you to Jamaica to break you and then bring you back. Okay, so I don't understand why we would think, oh, okay, so now we need to delineate. It's like, well, honey, I mean, come on now. What are we doing? Delineate from what? Our own roots. I don't believe in starting from 1800s because that's not the move right there. You know?
Right. Because all of this was Turtle Island at one point. All of the Americas, from the complete north to the complete tip of the south, all the way to Hawaii, all the way out to Cuba, all of the Caribbean islands.
Was Turtle Island.
Yeah, the Tejanos were all up through the Gulf of Mexico. And we all know that the Gulf of Mexico, come on. From Mexico to Texas to Louisiana to Mississippi to Alabama, come on. All the way over to Florida and come on back up the East Coast. All of those were Tejano type Indians, or quote unquote Indians. But do you know how many dark Native American tribes got reclassified as Negro? And then all of a sudden the record house goes up in flames, and so does all the freaking records. So now we're just Negroes.
But here's the question, though: did we sprout up out the ground in America, or did Mali come over here with their ships at the time when the Malian Empire and when they had the University of San Corre and all that stuff? When Mali was a great empire that came over to America and brought people over, and then they began to start this. Or do we believe in Pangea? Which Pangea, like, there was no humans during Pangea, from what I understood, right? It was only like not even, I don't even know if it's really dinosaurs. Does dinosaurs really exist? I don't know. But I know from what they're saying scientifically, Pangea, there were no human beings. So the only time that we could have been brought over, or be in America, was because we were brought over during the Malian Empire. Unless we came over the Bering Strait from Japan, over there by Alaska. And then, okay, well, then we must be from the sand, because I know the sand came up and occupied those areas. So what part of Native American based on what? That's the part that I'm like, okay, or was it both? What are we saying?
Let me ask you a question. When you think of China and you think Chinese, do you see a people in your head?
No.
Okay. You don't? I do.
I don't see a people. I see, you know what? I see, okay, it's going to sound crazy. So Mongolian, right?
Okay.
So, and it's going to sound crazy, right?
Right.
And I'm kind of afraid to say this. What is a person with Down syndrome? What do they call that disorder?
Down syndrome.
Mongoloid.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So I believe that there was that there are people that came up from like Africa and they merged with, and then there was like this race of people that they considered mongoloid,
Okay.
And so that's like a chromosomal. Never. Don't even, I'm the wrong person to ask, because it's gonna get real crazy.
No, because mongoloid is a look. Cool.
Yes.
And that's what I'm getting at. Now, when you think Europe, there's a look that comes with that, right? When you say Africa, there's a look that comes with that. But why, when we say the Americas, all of a sudden everybody draws a blank on what that would look like? And all of a sudden it takes everybody from everywhere else to populate this place. But there were people everywhere but here. Come on now. Stop it.
I didn't think about that. But didn't they migrate, though, even into China, to create the Mongoloid race, right? Didn't they?
Of course we did. Of course.
Where'd they migrate from? Was it Africa?
Well, we migrated from all over the place. We've always been, the people of the planet Earth have always been traveling the planet Earth. If you could get out of your region, you did. Remember, Vikings got here before Christopher Columbus. As a matter of fact, the Vikings told us don't trust them. It's like, don't do it.
You know what's so crazy is I when I did my DNA, I did find out that I had Nordic, Scottish, and then just because we're talking about the Vikings, the only reason why I wouldn't say Nigerian first, but there was Nordic, and I was trying to understand, well, where does Nordic come into play? But if you're saying that the Vikings were here, then that makes sense. Okay, maybe they were still like were there Black Vikings?
Yes, because just like some of their men and women stayed here for various reasons, some of our people went there for various reasons. We always gave and took people from one another's regions. For instance, if you just got here from Iceland, right? And somebody has a wound or something that needs to be medically healed. You get here, you find the people, they go to heal this person, but you have to leave before they're healed. You're going to leave this person here. And maybe in good faith, because we're traders, maybe there's somebody here like one of our bone setters. You might not have a bone setter where you are.
Your mic went out, Fundi. You there?
Cultural exchange.
Honey, we lost about I would say 10 seconds of what you said. You got to go back.
Oh, now you have a cultural exchange. Now you have people in the Americas with blue eyes and blonde hair added to their DNA, but over there, where they're blonde and blue-eyed, now they have dark hair, dark skin, dark eyes, big nose.
So what do you think about the people in Hawaii, Polynesian? Is that African or is that Asian? Because I would say that you look Polynesian. You have a Polynesian look to you.
Both.
I probably have Polynesian look to me. I think that they actually said that I had so it might be. So it's interesting when you think of it all. That's an island too. It's it's just on the other side of the Caribbean, but and then some of the Caribbean people look Polynesian, some Caribbean. So it's interesting. It's like, but I don't think so. Here's the thing: Pan-Africanism, right? So the only thing that Pan-Africanism said is that Black people should care about Black people across the whole globe. We should care about each other. We should give a crap about each other, right?
Okay.
If something's happening in Jamaica, we should care about that. It should not be a thing that we just turn a blind eye to. So do you think that is, if something happened in Africa, we should be united on all fronts? Do you think do you think it was just too lofty for us to be able to undertake? And that's why that right now that they're saying that it's dead and we need to really focus on ourselves?
Yes. You can't spread a defense like that and have an effective defense. And that's mainly why they do it. You can't progress unless you take everybody with you. Man, we ain't never going nowhere. What was that program? No Child Left Behind. No Child Left Behind is double speak for no child is gonna move forward. We gotta realize who we are dealing with, man.
Wow, that is, yeah.
We got to realize what we are dealing with. We are dealing with someone who will sell you poison on the idea that it cleans your teeth, but he doesn't tell you it rolls it down to the root in about 20 years, but they look good for the first 2.
You know what? That's a good point. You know what? That's why, and those toothbrushing barks, right? Because I've been using those. Those make your teeth whiter than anything. You take those toothbrushing bark, take the bark, and use that on your teeth. That's way more effective than any toothbrush, you know. And you don't have all those plastics and stuff like that breaking off into your body, you know, by
But
using
you
it.
look like a savage sucking on a goddamn tree. What is wrong with you, woman? You supposed to be civilized.
Right. And what do you think about this? DNA testing is fraudulent, but they'll use it to figure out if they're the father or not. So what do you mean DNA testing is fraudulent? At what point, you know? Is DNA testing fraudulent?
I have to ask, whose DNA do you have in the bank, and whose DNA are you selling? Because I've yet to hear anybody say that they're from a tribe in America. All of these African Americans are all from some freaking tribe in Africa. Not near one is a Chickasaw, Blackfoot, Lilliput, Hayat, Uyo, Zinta, Tato, Woods, Need, Tahano. Not one of them. But we're all African, Irish, British. Nobody has the DNA of the Americans that were here, that they took all of their bodies to the Smithsonian. They don't have the DNA from all of those scalpings that they so proudly displayed that took place. They don't have any of those vaginas that they gave $2-3 to poachers for the Native American vaginas to prove that they had killed women, children, and old women. We don't have any of that hair anymore. None of that is in the database, right? Right. Please.
But they can tell you that you might have came from Barbados. So even the DNA testing is really like, you would say flawed, and when it comes to, or what's the word of it, is when it's really
skewed.
It's skewed, predisposed to like really only go back to the 1800s, just like the FDA logic is doing. Which
they're only trying to prove their point. They're not trying to prove that, you know, you might be part of a tribe that we decided to kill the fuck off, so you can come back and decide that you want to reinsert the treaty that they broke. We can't have any of that. Then you might be taking land, and we can't have that because we have our cities on those lands now.
Here's a question. Why do you think that instead of like finding out reparations from the government, why are we not going after the insurance companies that made money off of the slave trade?
Because we don't even know to go after the insurance of the officer that just shot your son.
Whoa. Wow. The insurance of the officer that shot your son. Nobody thought about that. Rather than trying to do a thing with the police, if you have that officer's name and whatever, they're all insured.
They have to be insured to carry a firearm. And if you go after the insurance and the insurance pays you out, that man is never allowed to be insured with a firearm ever again.
Wow. And no one thought about that. What the hell?
My name is no one, though. I want y'all to remember that.
No. You thought about that. I'm sorry. Well, I'm such and such. You're no one. I'm such and such, and you're no one.
You're good, love. I am no one and everyone all at the same time.
My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. No, I'm just saying, like, why didn't we think about that? Like, what the hell? Why didn't nobody think about this before? Yes.
Go after the insurance.
And let me tell you something. It's about to get real out here. If you got these stupid women that sit up on TikTok, and I don't know if they getting hired to say that. Oh, he said, "What's this about insurance?" Yeah. So I said, why, instead of us trying to like look for reparations through the government, why don't we look for reparations from the insurance companies that insured the slave trade, right? And she says, well, because we don't even know how to go after the police officers for the insurance that shot your son and killed him. They have to be insured. Shouts out to Fundi Feed. I knew this was going to be a prolific moment. If anybody, like, listen, I cut that, put it into your bank, and remember, if anything ever happens, because right now this whole police thing is going on, and we don't even know who the people are. Like this whole ICE, who could turn into a whole new Gestapo like type of police force. They're not giving their name, and I think they know that because they know they're breaking a lot of like stuff. Like, you know, when it comes down to how to properly police. But the thing is that you can't go after their insurance. You can't go because you'd have to be going against the whole U.S. government, the Homeland Security. And that's a lot harder to like fight a case against the United States government, Homeland Security, versus a statewide police force.
Correct. And that's why they want ICE and the National Guard in place of police, because the National Guard and ICE can get away with that much easier than the police can.
And can you tell our audience, because I have my friend USA My Home, who's just
whose insurance bond do you go after? Since slave period, these companies have restricted themselves or became defunct.
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't.
Wells Fargo, all these. No, what's the main one? Dang, I used to work for them. Shit, what is it called? Oh my god! Hold on, I gotta look at my damn resume. It's one of the. It's one of the big. I worked for them. It's one of the big funded. Yeah, they helped to do that. What was called? Let me see what I forget right now. Hold on, I'm about to like look it up. Wait, where's my resume at? Because dang, because you know it's not State Farm. Hold on, what's the one? Hold on, let me see. What's the one? It's called. It's out of Connecticut. All the insurance companies are in Connecticut, and that's interesting too that they're all in Connecticut.
Oh crap! There's a whole freaking chat that I didn't see at all. Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. What did Navi come from? What's up, y'all? Navi.
I'm about to tell you exactly what it is. Hold on. It is. Hold on. Dang, what is it called? Oh man, the Hartford in Connecticut. That's the Aetna. Yep.
You know, and why don't black folk go after insurance companies? Y'all ready for this? And here is where some DNA be kicking our behind sometimes. You know, when our great grandmothers and our grandmothers were paying faithfully on those insurance policies for everybody, and then some really interesting stuff would happen to us, and then grandma would need that insurance policy paid out, and that person that came every month or every week for that payout would tell her that they don't qualify for the payout. A lot of us just stopped getting insurance after that. Grandma and great grandma was like, it's not even worth it. Popular person it happened to, Malcolm X's mom.
Right. Insurance companies were a whole scam. And they're still scamming. They're still, you know what? And the crazy thing is the lawyers are in coop, the doctors are in coop with it. The person gets into a car accident, and honey, they put you through this whole rigmarole of go to this chiropractor, and everybody knows each other, and they're fleecing the insurance company. They give you pennies when they get done getting their money. You know, they give you 5,000, 10,000 when they just made 100 off of your accident. So they've been fleecing. And then here's another thing: a lot of y'all hip hop artists, y'all are insured too. There's a separate insurance plan that they have on each hip hop artist or whatever R&B. The record label has another insurance policy in case you pass on. That they
That's
can.
why they're worth more in the ground than they are behind the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody of money and wealth lost anything when Prince left here. Nobody of notoriety or wealth lost anything when Michael Jackson left here. Some of y'all that worked for Walmart don't even know that Walmart has an insurance policy on you. And when you kick it today or tomorrow, they will get their money on you. A lot of companies do it.
Wow. See? It hasn't stopped.
No, you've
Why do you
always
think
been
that is
insured in your workplace.
why these companies will give you a reduced rate in healthcare medical insurance because they already have bought the life insurance policy on you, and so you're paying really into your own life insurance through that's actually paying the company in case you're demise while you are employed by them. That's crazy.
Yep.
Hey,
And when
Miss Jackie Gaines, thank you for being here. Shouts out, Miss Gaines.
you roll out of here today or tomorrow, next week, 10 years from now, if that company is still paying that policy premium, they still get a kickback off you. And they don't have to share it with your family. They ain't got to tell nobody they collected it. Nothing. You an insurance policy.
And we're up here divesting because we're waking. Well, no, we don't want them Caribbeans getting our reparations from the government. It's like no. First of all, you're looking in the wrong spot. And then here, what about heirs' rights? This is another thing we overlooking when it comes down to reparations, right? Because this whole thing about this FBA is about reparations, but ain't nobody really talk. Where is the movement for real like reparations? Because the real reparations, find out who your real lineage is, and go to your cousins because they got the land. Whoever passed on, a lot of people have passed down land and sitting on it, and you own a piece of that. If you got the last name XYZ, go find out who your cousins is. Hey, we cousins, okay? We cousins.
Look, man. Look, D Keys was in the chat earlier. He got the land. I have the trees. I have the crops. I have the grapes. I have all of that. Take this little bit and take it to the land. Regrow it. Have fun with it. We have to, and I'm not saying come together with everybody. Do not do that. Do not do that. Everybody is not worthy of your come together. Some people just need to go. I said it. Some people are unproductive. Some people will live off you. Some people will watch you work yourself into the ground, and they will take their feet and put it up on your dinner table and ask you, what did you cook? I'm about to cook your behind if you don't get. No, let me stop. Hey, Miss Jackie. But know who you getting in bed with. Know who you closing your eyes around. Know who you breaking your bread with. I mean, sometimes if you have a rat, invite a snake. The snake will lead you straight to the rat. or might take care of it itself. But know that you're gonna have to take that snake out too. So you're gonna need a belt, or you're gonna get some nice shoe ornaments. But know this, you're gonna have to protect what you have with all of your discernment. All of it.
So I want to play a little bit more of this video, talk about it a little bit more. We're gonna end at 2 hours exactly, because but I want to, man. Yes, Fundi is point. She's on point, sharp. I love her. You know what I'm saying? She be, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish we could have got together sooner, but there's so many other like things going on, and misunderstandings. So, but here, let's go into I'm DJ such and such. Let's get into it.
Such.
I was just trying to help the people. I was not a part of it. Okay, I was just trying to help them out and get on their feet and stuff. I was not trying to be a part of carbonation. God damn.
Let's discover.
So I was not trying to be a part of that.
Damn, them babies drove your ass to drinking. Sit down somewhere.
They did, bro. They drove me fucking insane.
This directly contradicts the USDA's publicly released shutdown plan. The White House clearly wants to end SNAP and is lying to protect themselves. The White House wants to end SNAP and is lying to protect themselves. Now, let's take those one at a time. Is the White House known for lying to protect themselves?
Alternative facts to that.
Okay, let's move on to the next part. They want to end SNAP. I wonder what evidence there might be for them wanting to end SNAP. Because if I know anything about this White House, they left all of the breadcrumbs. Or in Trump's case, I guess it would be McDonald's crumbs.
Well, this is an important cup of tea. A whole lot of y'all have reached out to me today about the news that's spreading that people that receive SNAP benefits will not receive their benefits starting November 1st. SNAP benefits, EBT, that is food stamps. And yes, a letter was sent to states to tell them to withhold releasing funds to recipients, dear. And in that letter, they were talking about the shutdown. But that's not what's going on. No, baby, I've got the entire cup of tea. So what you may not know is that back in May, the current regime sent letters all across the US of A to the SNAP departments, to the EBT departments, requesting data on EBT recipients, those who receive food stamp benefits, going all the way back, this is important, all the way back to 2020. Now, what was going on in the United States in 2020? The flu-pocalypse. And because of the flu-pocalypse, people in the United States were receiving SNAP benefits that had never received SNAP benefits before under emergency SNAP benefits. Millions of Americans who had never received SNAP benefits before were receiving them because we were in a national emergency because of the flu-pocalypse. Just like people who had never before qualified for unemployment because they were 1099 employees were receiving unemployment benefits because we were in a crisis here. Okay. So it's safe to say that a whole lot of the people who started freshly and newly receiving benefits in 2020 are no longer receiving those benefits anymore because that emergency is over. Right? Right. Now, blue states refuse 27 states turned over that data. Red states, they turned over that data to the federal government about who in their state receives these SNAP benefits. And this isn't regular data. This is all your personal information. You see, we already give data to the federal government about SNAP benefits, not the names of the people who receive it or their home or addresses or their social security numbers or all that other stuff that you put on those applications. Just data about how many people are receiving the benefits and what the amounts are. That's normal. But asking for all this personal data is not normal. And blue states came out to say, nope, we're not sending you this data because this is just another play by this regime to collect data on Americans for surveillance for immigration operations. And they refused to send in that private data to the current regime. And it pissed off the current regime, dear. It did. It pissed them off because legally, these states don't have to turn over that data.
Requesting data on SNAP recipients. Well, that's not suspicious now, is it? By the way, is this what you found? The overwhelming majority of SNAP benefits who can work do work. Every dollar in SNAP benefits generates $173 in economic activity. SNAP has a fraud rate less than 3%, the lowest of any public benefit program, and undocumented immigrants have never been eligible for SNAP.
Thoughts, Fundi?
Good. Good. Because again, I know how resourceful my people are, and I know why it was created. So I'm okay with them cutting it off because I prefer people to be resilient and not convenient. So let's get back to being resilient. No, you just can't come home from work and plop down on the couch no more. You got to go take care of your plants. You got to go bake some bread. You got to go purify some water.
Yes.
You got to go talk to your neighbor that you know has chickens and barter something that you have for them. We got to get back to being producers of things, because that's how you pull money off of trees.
Mm-hmm. So let's go.
But
Let's go.
never let facts get in the way of racist propaganda. This from Trump ally Mike Davis. We should only help people who can't help themselves. It's outrageous 40 million people get food stamps. Get off your fat ghetto asses. Get a job. Stop reproducing. Change your messed up culture. Stop giving food stamps to immigrants. Now, it's funny because being that wrong, typically you would characterize somebody as being ignorant, but clearly that is language which is only appropriate for some groups. Now, we've already seen the statistics on all the white recipients of SNAP benefits, a lot of whom are MAGA. And I just wonder how they're going to react to get off your fat ghetto asses, and get a job. How are they stop reproducing to the MAGAs? I don't know how that's going to land, Mike Davis. I don't know how that's going to land. Now, I will give you this, Mike Davis. You was cooking with change your culture. You was cooking with that. I absolutely think the MAGA should change their culture. It's raggedy. It is very, very raggedy. And in fact, I think the administration should probably change their culture, if we're being clear, because everything they do is just so telegraphed. You know what I mean? Like the groundwork for this was laid long ago.
To be crystal clear, what this bill did was create the potential for SNAP programs to no longer exist in any shape, form, or fashion in terms of providing SNAP benefits in states that could not afford to or chose not to, for whatever reason, meet the cost sharing. Is that a fair assessment of that, Ms. Green?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Bivens?
Yes, it is.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes, sir.
I almost just want to sit in silence to let that sink in. The United States of America just signed into law a bill that will allow states, essentially, to determine whether or not they will provide food assistance to anyone, to federally funded food assistance to anyone.
So the question must be asked, if they clearly have this agenda to end this particular program amongst other social safety nets, what would be the purpose of that?
If there was one thing that I could try to get all voters to understand about this administration, it would be that the pain that they're experiencing and about to continue experiencing even more is a feature of this administration's program, not a bug. The suffering is not a byproduct. It is the point. So when you see that letters are going out to each state from the U.S. Department of Agriculture saying that SNAP benefits may not be paid, may not be available for the month of November, they're sending out these warning letters that supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits, the benefits that go to 42 million people in this country, majority children in this country, when they're saying that those benefits may not be there in November, and they're directing states, warning states to delay sending out the payments because the money's not there, you need to know first, the pain is the point. And you need to know second, they're lying when they say that they don't have the money. They have $4 to $5 billion in reserve, just the U.S. Department of Agriculture, in order to ensure that these benefits get paid even during a shutdown.
And I'm talking about pain like this single dad having to hold back tears because his paycheck can't cover food and rent while Trump's building a $350 million ballroom at the White House.
Stub for an air traffic controller showing Tuesday's check will will be for $0. It's why controller Jack Chris spends his days off driving DoorDash.
You're not getting a tip.
The single dad is trying to make some extra money to help cover the cost of his daughter's high school tuition. How stressful is life right now with this shutdown?
Yeah, man. It's been incredibly difficult. You can feel the tension, and it's heavy, and it hurts.
As the government shutdown rolls into its 25th day, Congress remains unable to make a deal.
She tipped $2 this year.
Chris says he's tapped his retirement funds and taken out a high-interest short-term loan to make sure he has the cash to weather a long shutdown. From the standpoint of a single working dad, how is all of this impacting life at home?
That's a great question. It's hard enough just going to work. Now, when you add in not getting paid, that's when you just like multiply the level of pressure. Air traffic is a safety-sensitive position. The margin of error is zero. So if you think about it, it's pressure on top of pressure when you don't know exactly when you'll get paid based on politics.
The Department of Transportation says it's continued to see an increased number of sick calls from controllers, leading to spotty staffing shortages.
Well, I don't want my air traffic controllers to take a second job, but they're having to make decisions about how they spend their time to make sure they put food on their table, feed their kids, and support their family members.
One of these days, y'all are going to understand that the cruelty is the point. The cruelty is the point. Because the Trump administration can and should take available steps to ensure SNAP participants get November food benefits. We have reserves for people who are on SNAP and WIC. They have money set aside for that will not be affected during a government shutdown. But because the president appoints the Secretary of Agriculture and all these kinds of things, that secretary can choose not to use that appropriation for SNAP and WIC, okay?
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
the money is there. The money is always there. The money has been there. The cruelty is the point. Look, this is what Black people understand about America. She is a cruel mistress, and Uncle Sam holds the whip and he uses it. We know this. Like I said in a post on Facebook, Americans are mad because they being treated like niggas.
Wow. And see, here's the part. Why do you think do they know that it's going to be mainly white people that are going to suffer this? So why would so do you think they're trying to be cruel to their, or is it because they feel like those white people are liberals, or what why would you think? Because do you think they're being cruel to the Black people or trying to trigger them into something?
No, they already know we're whipped into submission. We show them that on a regular basis. We show them that we can endure cruelty and still be kind. They're not messing with us. They're messing with the powder cakes. They're messing with the generations that didn't drink water for 4,000 years. They're messing with them. They're messing with them because they're naturally violent. And when put under pressure, violence is the language that they speak. And they're not going to lash out at an army. No, they're going to lash out at those under them because they punch down. They don't punch up. But I think that they're going to add enough pressure to this pimple that it's not going to blow back like it usually does. This is going to be one of them pimples that poke them right in the eye.
So it says 5 Democrats can reopen the government. Of course, we want to make it about the Democrats. So what do you think about this? Is that it's really being held back by the Democrats because of like the health care? So you think, okay, let's just agree with this. What I don't know exactly what the health care plan is about. I got to like look that thing up and find out because I've not been able to have the time to like look that up. So do you think it's really about like those 5 Democrats that are like just not agreeing to the whatever the Republicans are trying to pass when it comes down to healthcare, Medicaid?
Okay. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this. A wing is on a bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you say left wing, I'm looking to the left side of one bird, right? When you say right wing, I'm looking at the other side of this same bird. What I know about flight is a bird needs both wings. So if the bird is to go anywhere, do you only look at one wing and blame it? Don't you have to look at both wings and the bird and blame it? Can we start blaming center mass? Left wing, right wing, same damn bird.
And I want to also talk about the fact that yes, left wing, right wing, same bird. And here's the thing: is who's down the middle? The billionaires that are really trying to control the bird and try to make the people underneath them think that it's
Look,
about the wing, right? Go ahead.
check this out, Genesis. We really want to affect this? Let me show y'all how y'all can affect this really easily, really quickly, and it's not even gonna hurt that much. And I say hurt that much because we might have to change a few habits, not a lot of them, just a few. Sit your behind down for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and Easter. Let me say that again. Sit down. And when I say sit down, I even mean don't go to Easter Mass, don't go to Easter Sunday, even boycott the church. Sit down. Do not celebrate Thanksgiving. Do not celebrate New Year's. Do not do what's in February? Is it Valentine's Day?
Valentine and
Don't
Martin
do
King
that.
Day, Martin Luther King Day.
Don't do that. Do none of the holidays for about 6 months. And let's see what happens. Because what's the middle of the bird is corporations. And corporations don't move and don't talk to you until you stop spending your money. And not spending your money for a short period of time. No. Stop spending your money for a long period of time. Make it really hurt. I mean, make it hurt to the point that even they are begging you to come in and still don't. Because in these 6 months, you're learning how to make things and you're learning to keep your money, which is growing your wealth. Because your wealth is not what you spend, your wealth is about what you get to keep and become like a corporation. Keep it all. Keep as much of your money as you possibly can. Do it. See what happens.
And here's the thing is that we also need to worry about these banks. Keeping the money in them banks, y'all are risking losing your money. You're risking the loss of your money in these banks. Putting the money in them banks is risking the loss because there's a whole thing going on with the Fed too, where they're going to be switching over the system. I think November 7th or something like that. And remember last time where all the people during the Great Depression had their money in what? Banks. And they lost all their money. Remember that?
Which is why I'm telling you to take your money and exchange it for some precious metal and or gem that is easily stored, easily concealed, easily transferred. We have to understand what real wealth looks like. And real wealth does not look like fiat paper money. It never did. It never will. And before they do another suck the wealth out of America, you better be looking at the writing on the wall because it is there. Keep enough money in your account to do your bills. Take your excess out and transfer it into something that it will appreciate. You've been told and you have been warned.
Ashe. Now we're coming up on that 2-hour mark. Any last words before we end the stream?
Become self-sufficient. But DJ such and such, can you take us on up out of here?
Sure can.
Trying to get it right. Transition. Changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission. On a mission. Trying to get it right. I'm transitioned in my life. Making a transition. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Trying a mission, a mission. I'm on a mission, on a mission.